Tilly Morgan drove her car into the garage following an exhausting workday and entered the house, announcing her arrival to Marv, her jobless husband. The quiet that greeted her seemed unusual. With a furrowed brow, she made her way toward the bedroom to switch into more relaxed attire. There, she discovered Marv sound asleep. "Wake up, sleepyhead," she said sharply, yanking the covers away from him. Her voice faltered in her throat. She blinked, believing she must have imagined the sight. But no, he was clad in a red dress. His face featured careful cosmetics, his hair arranged neatly. Shock rapidly shifted into fury. She shook him more vigorously until he began to awaken. "What is this?" she demanded. "Is this how you occupy yourself when I am away? Why are you wearing a dress? And who applied your makeup?" I overslept," he stammered. "I can explain. I did the makeup myself." "Fine," she snapped. "Put on your shoes and come to the dining room." "I should change first." "No, leave everything exactly as it is. I have already seen it all." Moments later, he entered the dining room in red heels, appearing uneasy beneath her enraged gaze. "Start talking," she said coldly. "That is not my dress. I want to know where all this originated, and why." Marv swallowed and started speaking softly. He told her about being 9 years old, about secretly trying on his older sister's dresses when no one else was present. He described how much he had adored the sensation, how peaceful and correct it had seemed. He confessed how his sister had found him and compelled him to keep dressing up whenever their parents were absent. Then their mother had caught him as well, making him wear dresses for days as punishment, though to him it never felt like one. He explained how the practice had never truly departed from him. Even after his sister moved away, even after he married Tilly, for a while he resisted, but eventually the desire grew too powerful. He began secretly purchasing garments and cosmetics, shopping distant from home, concealing everything with care. Tilly listened without interruption, her face impossible to read. "How much do you possess?" she finally inquired. He paused, then listed it all. Several dresses, lingerie, heels, everything tucked away in the spare room closet. She examined him attentively. "Your makeup is flawless," she said slowly. "You have clearly practiced extensively." Then her tone grew firmer. "Well, here is how this is going to function. I am the one supporting this household now. You are not working. If this is what brings you happiness, then fine. But from now on, you will earn your keep properly. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, groceries, all of it." He stared at her, uncertain what to reply. "And one more thing," she continued resolutely. "If you're going to live like this, then commit to it fully. No more men's clothes. Pack them up tomorrow. I will decide what to do with them." She folded her arms and looked directly at him. "So, are you staying?" she asked quietly. "Or are you leaving?" "I am staying," he said quietly. "But do you not think all this is a little extreme? I never harmed anyone, and I have never even gone outside dressed like this." Tilly gave a brief laugh. "Think of it as the beginning of a new adventure." He did not laugh in return. The word adventure did not comfort him. Instead, he felt the same tight, familiar sensation he had known years earlier. Like he was trapped in something he could not escape. Just like when his sister had discovered him. Just like when his mother had taken control. Now it was Tilly, and there was no escape. The next morning, he woke early, earlier than Tilly, and quietly started getting dressed. She stirred awake just as he was pulling on a delicate pair of panties. Her eyes lingered on them, surprised by how intricate and elegant they were. She was fairly sure she did not even own anything that pretty. Then she watched him fasten his bra smoothly, effortlessly. The quick practice motion made her raise an eyebrow. He has done this many times, she thought. A black slip followed, soft, lacy, clinging lightly to his shape. He added something inside the bra cups, adjusting carefully before leaving the room. She knew he was choosing a dress and found herself oddly curious about what he would look like today. By the time she came into the kitchen, coffee was already brewed. She poured herself a cup and sat down. "Today you will clean the house and pick up groceries," she said, sliding money across the table. "And next to the grocery store is a nail salon. Here is $20. Get a manicure with color." He nodded quietly. I will know if you did not clean properly, she added. You will, he said. I promise. She left for work and he got started. He cleaned the living room first, dusting, straightening, polishing. When he stepped back to look at it, he felt a small swell of pride. Everything gleamed. Next came the bedroom. Fresh sheets, vacuumed carpet, polished surfaces. Then the bathroom scrubbed, shining spotless. He worked steadily, almost happily, losing himself in the rhythm of it all. By lunchtime, everything was done. After a light meal and washing the dishes, he faced the one thing he had been dreading, going outside, dressed as he was. Still, he gathered himself and left for the grocery store. Walking the aisles, he kept expecting stares or whispers, but no one said anything. A few people glanced at him, then continued on as if nothing were unusual. At checkout, the cashier smiled politely. Have a nice day, ma'am. The word startled him, but also warmed him in a strange way. From there, he went to the nail salon. They seated him right away. The gentle attention, the careful work, it was unexpectedly soothing. When asked about color, he hesitated, then told the technician to choose something pretty. She returned with a rich, glossy red. He loved it. Back home, he unpacked groceries, glancing repeatedly at his nails. They made him feel bright, light, pleased in a way he had never quite experienced before. He prepared dinner in the slow cooker, then rested until evening. When Tilly returned, she stopped in the living room and stared. Everything sparkled. She checked the bedroom, equally spotless. She shook him awake and demanded to know how he had managed it. He just smiled and said it was a secret. She laughed and nudged his arm. At dinner, her eyes fell on his hands. Your nails look beautiful, she said. So feminine. I love that color. Did you enjoy the manicure? I did, he admitted. It was relaxing. Even without color, I would go again. You will have color every time, she replied firmly. No exceptions. He hesitated. I do not think I need to wear a dress every single day. You will, she said simply. She tasted the pork roast and paused. This is wonderful. What did you add to it? He only smiled. Then she remembered. Did you pack your men's clothes? Yes, they are boxed in the spare room. After dinner, put them in my trunk. I might donate them. Please do not do anything drastic, he said quickly. I may need them someday. We will see. After dishes were done and the boxes loaded into her car, he wondered how long this arrangement would really last. Would she change her mind eventually? He did not know. Later, he ran a bubble bath. The warm water and soft foam melted the tension from his body. Relaxed and thoughtful, he decided to shave, carefully removing hair from his chest, underarms, and legs. When he finished, he studied himself, then called for Tilly. She stepped into the bathroom and stopped, taking in the sight of his smooth skin, the careful grooming, the quiet confidence in his posture. She looked at him and said nothing at all. Tilly only smiled when she saw him waiting for her in the bathroom. He asked her to check his back, and she carefully shaved the last remaining patches of hair. When she finished, he was smooth from neck to ankle, except for the small, neatly shaped patch he had left for himself. She stepped back, studying her work with quiet satisfaction. The following day, he went out again, this time to a self-serve shoe shop. After browsing carefully, he chose a pair of simple black flats with a tiny bow on the front. They seemed perfect for errands. From there, he visited a clothing store where he found a skirt and sweater set that felt just right along with a soft, delicate nightgown he could not resist. At home, he immediately tried on the skirt and sweater. Standing before the mirror, he turned slightly from side to side, pleased with the reflection looking back at him. He kept the outfit on and decided to tackle the laundry. While hanging clothes outside to dry, his neighbor, Mrs. Jacobson, called from over the fence. He walked over to greet her. "Oh, it is you," she said cheerfully. "I thought you were Tilly. And that hair, when did it get so long?" "It is a wig," he admitted. "Tilly insists I dress like this." "Well," she said with a smile. "Look wonderful. I love that pink sweater and your makeup." "Who does it?" "I do," he said. "It is easier than it looks. Or maybe I have just had practice." You certainly have talent. She laughed. Honestly, you carry the look beautifully. Those black flats are adorable. Where did you get them? He told her about the shoe shop, and she made a note to visit it herself. Before heading back inside, she invited him over for coffee the next morning after Tilly left for work. He agreed happily. The conversation had gone better than he expected. No teasing, no judgment, just casual acceptance. Later, he went grocery shopping again. While choosing meat, another woman complimented his shoes and asked where he had bought them. He told her, and she thanked him without a second glance. It felt strangely normal. Back home, he polished the dining table until it gleamed, then prepared dinner. When Tilly returned, the scent of cooking greeted her first, but the shining table stopped her in her tracks. You have to tell me how you get everything so spotless, she said in amazement. During dinner, she studied him thoughtfully. Do you have a feminine name? He shook his head. She thought for a moment. When I was in school, there was a girl I admired. Mary Beth. I think that suits you. He hesitated but nodded. If you like it. I do, she said firmly. Mary Beth it is. He told her about Mrs. Jacobson's invitation, and Tilly warned him with a grin that Florence Jacobson was known to be a flirt. He promised to behave. The next morning, he visited Florence's house and discovered not just coffee, but a whole gathering of women. They chatted easily, asking about his eyeliner technique, his wig, his style. He even demonstrated how he applied his makeup. They listened with genuine interest. After everyone else left, Florence told him he fit right in. When he admitted surprise that no one seemed to notice he was a man, she calmly revealed they all knew. She told them beforehand. Then, with playful authority, she declared he was expected every morning. He agreed quietly, slightly overwhelmed. Days settled into routine, coffee gatherings, housework, careful cooking. Tilly encouraged every change, even arranging a beauty salon appointment so his own hair could be styled. The visit transformed him completely. Permed curls, shaped brows, expertly chosen makeup. When he saw himself in the mirror, he hardly recognized the polished, radiant version staring back. Tilly loved the result. That evening, she insisted they go out to celebrate. He dressed carefully, and they headed to a supper club for dinner. They had just settled in when a man approached, someone who recognized him from before. Harsh words followed. Then suddenly a punch. He fell hard, striking his arm against the bar. Police arrived quickly. The man was arrested. At the hospital, X-rays confirmed his arm was broken. Staff treated him with professional calm, showing no curiosity about his appearance. Even the nurse helping him change commented only on how lovely his slip looked. When Tilly arrived, shaken and worried, she urged him to return to his old clothes. He reminded her she had packed them all away. She admitted they were still in her car, not yet donated. He said he would think about it. As they talked quietly beside the hospital bed, a police officer approached them and began asking questions about what had happened. A police officer stopped by his bedside to check on him. He explained that Charlie was now being charged with assault causing injury. What does that mean exactly? He asked. It means the penalties will be more serious, the officer replied. He will likely face a heavier fine, may have to cover your medical bills, and possibly pay compensation for pain and suffering. There could even be additional claims depending on how things proceed. After the officer left, the doctor finished securing the cast on his arm and instructed him to visit his regular physician within 3 days for follow-up. Back home, Tilly prepared a quick dinner. As they ate, he spoke thoughtfully. You know, Charlie always picked on me at work. He was the company bully. Most people were more afraid of him than not, but I never imagined he would turn violent over something like this just because I was wearing a dress. He paused, thinking. He always had a loud mouth, sure, but not like tonight. Maybe he had had too much to drink. That might explain it. Tilly nodded slowly. That sounds likely. He shrugged carefully, mindful of his arm. There were times he yelled at me, then came back later to apologize. He is not always terrible, just quick-tempered. Still, there are plenty of people like him out there. She reached across the table, her voice soft but serious. I do not want you getting hurt again. For my sake, would you go back to wearing your men's clothes, please? He hesitated, then sighed gently. I suppose I can, but I really do love wearing dresses. Her expression softened. Then wear them here at home and with your coffee group if you like. Just not out in public. At least not where someone might hurt you again. Does that seem fair? He nodded. Yes, that sounds reasonable. She glanced at his hair and your perm. I will go tomorrow and have it taken out, he said. Even if they have to shave it, it will grow back. She smiled with relief. Thank you. I appreciate you doing this. He looked at her warmly. You're doing it because you care. I love you, she said simply. And I do not want anything bad to happen to you again. In the end, they found a compromise that felt right to both of them. Each giving a little, each protecting the other. Sometimes love is not about winning or losing. It is about choosing each other every single day.